Listen, before that, how else? At the end of the month, actually, you've got another one of your special programs that you've been working on.
Yeah, speaking of back to school, it's also the time when parents sign up their kids for hockey and football and rugby and all these sports, that the kids want to be involved in. And
Right.
we're doing a 4-hour special show on August 30th. It's going to be completely dedicated to the topic of concussions and head trauma in sports. We've had a tragic incident in our own community earlier this year with Rowan Stringer tragically dying after a game of rugby. This is something we started working on actually before that even happened,
Right.
because it is something that is kind of taken the media by storm. A lot of it goes back to the Sidney Crosby being out for so long after he had so many concussions. So we started asking the questions, and there's a lot of research going on, even in this community, into what a concussion is, and there's a lot to learn still. We've come a long way from where we were with concussions and the research the doctors have, but there's still a long way to go.
I tell you what, I, as a sports fan and as a person who plays a lot of different sports, and we often talk about this, guys that I play sports with and that sort of thing, we often talk about how did we make it through all the things we did without suffering major head trauma or concussion. Then we start thinking about, we were probably concussed at various times, didn't even know it.
And a lot of people are saying that. A lot of pro athletes are coming out now and saying that. I talked to Keith Primo just a couple of days ago.
Oh, did you
that
really?
interview is going to be.
Oh, that's.
The interview I did with Keith is going to be on our show that day, and Keith has 4 documented concussions in his time in the NHL. But he said, Annette, I've had definitely way more than that, and it was a concussion that knocked him out in 2005 that took him out of the game at the end. We also traveled down to Toronto a few months ago, and you'll see this story in that special. I talked to Dr. Charles Tatter. He's the leading researcher and physician in this country that heads up the Canadian Sports Concussion Project.
Right.
What he does is he has 7 brains that have been donated to his project by former CFL players who've passed on. And one of them is Ted Toogood. He used to play for the Toronto Argos. And so I spoke with Ted's wife, Joan, and why they decided to do that. Ted was a small little guy. He was not big, 5'9", 160 pounds. He was fast, but he took a lot of hits. He was in the famous Mud Bowl in 1950. So we look at where research is now, what parents need to know, and just take it back to basics for what a concussion really is. And it's surprising how much we really don't know. Concussion is symptom-based.
Yeah.
There's no pill to fix it. There's no one case is like another. Everybody's very individual.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you've seen people, get hit so hard and you think, wow, that's got to knock them out for who knows how long. And the next thing you know, they're back.
And that's one of the biggest questions, right? How long should they be out?
Yeah, and other people get, a tap on the jaw, and all of a sudden they're out with a concussion.
That tap on the jaw might have been because they've had earlier concussions, and suddenly, boom, it takes hold. We have athletes, coaches, parents, experts, doctors, physicians, researchers. It's going to be a jam-packed show on August 30th. And because we have all these experts on the show, Kurt, we want to hear from our viewers.
Right.
So if you're a parent, if you're a trainer or a coach, if you have a 16-year-old boy playing hockey and he's had a couple hits and you have questions on whether or not he should be back in the game or maybe take up a less contact sport game. I mean, we're not certainly advocating no sports. That's not the point.
No.
But we want to educate and inform our viewers about what concussions are and how it can have an impact on you. So that we're asking you to please send us an email, ask us on Twitter, Facebook. Let us know if you have any questions, and we're going to put them to our experts on that show.
That's coming up on August 30th.
Yes.
Looking forward to it.